Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the MakeCode Arcade Advanced stream. I'm Richard, at Richard on the MakeCode forums.
I'm Daryl, at Darzu on the MakeCode forums.
I'm Shannon, at Shakao on the MakeCode forums.
And I'm Vivian, at LipCheerful on the MakeCode forums.
And I think everyone can probably figure out what we're doing today based off this art I'm doing. But maybe one of you guys can kind of explain what the game we're going to be making today, or the basic premise at least.
Yeah, so basically if you wanted to go places, normally you'd walk there. But if you wanted to go to tall places, you can't walk there. So instead you have to put on your rocket boots and you have to go there vertically. And we're going to do that, but with conditions.
And all of that, that's the name of the game. But yeah, so we're going to make a game, and I think that the central mechanic this time around is going to be rocket boots, which you can see I've lovingly drawn down here. I'm also going to be putting a little hat on my character because he's a radical dude. And there we go. And what color should his shirt be?
Maybe the light blue, but green is fine as well.
No, I'm just gonna do a fill, and then we can.
Okay. Ooh.
That's
what I was thinking. My vote is light blue.
Maybe we do that with like the. Ooh. No, but I don't like them being the same color as the fins. Make the fins orange. There we go.
A radical dude.
Yep. And now just to finish this off.
Is it going to be a graphic tee?
He's labeled, so you know what kind of dude he is.
I think we need some MakeCode merch with these t-shirts.
Yeah, no, I think that would be a good idea for the property. Really build our brand.
Yeah.
And our brand is radical. All right. So here's our protagonist. Nice. Let's go ahead and start with the tile map. And I promise this is not going to be a classic Richard art the entire time stream. We're going to just put in some placeholder graphics after this rad guy, and we'll maybe go back and make him look a little bit better in the future. So let's do that just for the background. And then for the ground, I'm just going to make something that looks kind of metal-y. I don't know.
Metal? Like tin?
Not like tin. More like brass?
Ooh.
That was just a joke.
I don't know. What grounds are you walking on that are metal? I have no intuition for this kind of world.
I don't know. I just need something that kind of looks ground-ish, and this is what it's going to be.
Maybe something that can hold up to the fire.
Yeah. All right, so this is going to be a game that is mostly vertical. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cap it to the width of our screen. So that would be 10 wide. And we're going to make this way taller, like, I don't know. Let's go really tall. And we might do something to make this a little bit nicer kind of in the future. But for now, we're just going to put in some random kind of platforms and things for us to go between. So basically the idea is you're going to have a normal jump command, but you're also going to have a rocket command where you press B and it'll launch you upwards based on the current power of your rocket boots. And so I'm just going to put in some platforms here for testing, and we can kind of leave the level design for later. So there we go. Oh, got to make these walls. All right, so Let's go ahead and add some gravity to our rad dude. And for that, we're going to just go ahead and use our acceleration y. And I'm just going to put in the value I always put in, which is 300, which feels okay in general for platformer type games. Oh, there he goes. Let's go ahead and do the camera follow also. Cool. And we want to control, but only in the left and right directions. So we're going to drag out our move my sprite, change this to rad dude. Going to take VY, make it 0. And 100 is probably a bit too much for a VX. Maybe we'll make it like 70. See how that goes. Yeah, that's all right. All right. The other thing I'm going to do real quick is we're only going to have art when moving to the right and moving to the left. So I'm going to go ahead and do the logic to kind of flip our sprite depending on which direction we're facing. So this is a sample that I end up writing for a lot of people, but it's pretty easy to do once you know the trick. So by default, I'm going to create this variable called facing left, and I'm going to set it to false. And now I'm already using the move with buttons to move our sprite. But I'm going to use the left and right button pressed to flip the sprite. So let's do that right now. And you might be tempted to just inside of this on left button pressed, on right button pressed to do something like this, where you go into image, you grab a flip horizontally. And for here, we're going to put in the image of rad dude. So down here. And this will work once, but now every time I press left, he's going to switch directions. So that looks a little weird.
Looks like he's moonwalking.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to use this variable I created called facing left. So we're going to say that on left button pressed, if we aren't facing left, because that's when we want to change, we're going to say if not facing left, then we want to flip horizontally, and we want to set facing left to be true. Now, on the right button pressed, it's going to look very similarly. Well, first we can test out this code. So you'll see now that when I press left, I stay left. But we need to do the stuff to make it also go right. So I'm going to do this same bit of code over here, but I'm going to get rid of the not. So on the right button pressed, if we are facing left, we're going to flip horizontally, and we're going to set facing left to be false. And now this tiny snippet will make it so that we can switch directions. Cool. All right.
I like
Weird
how
things
this makes
happen
it
if
look
you're-
like he's wearing Heelys. Sorry?
It could be rocket Heelys.
Yeah.
Well, not Heelys specifically. I feel like that's probably trademarked by someone. Can you still buy Heelys?
Yes, you can. I bought some a few years ago.
A few days ago.
No, a few years ago. I wanted to make my own, and my mom was like, no, don't do that. That's dangerous. I'll finally get you a pair of Heelys when I was an adult.
All right. So I'm going to create a function here, and it's going to be called doJump. It's going to take in 2 arguments. The first one is going to be a sprite. This is the sprite that's going to be jumping. And the second argument is going to be the height. And so this is how high we want to jump, and this will be a number. So if we go down here, there is a nice and easy way to calculate what the velocity for a sprite should be based on the height and the gravity. So we've already got the gravity stored. It's going to be inside of the sprite, so we could just use their AY. But the equation that I'm going to write out real quick, which you've probably seen us do on stream before, is we want to do a square root of 2 times the gravity times the height. And this whole thing equals our velocity for jumping. It's very useful to remember this equation if you're doing platformers. You can also just set the velocity to some negative thing that kind of feels okay, but this makes it easier to do level design because you can say like, I want my character to be able to jump exactly 3 tiles high. And so you could just put in 48 for the height. So let's write this real quick. We're gonna grab a set velocity. So take out this mySprite argument, put it in the sprite argument, change x to vy. And the other thing we want to do is we want to make this negative, because up is negative y, and we want to make sure that we're not making us go down when we jump. So let's go ahead and do times square root. And it's going to be 2 times the height times the gravity, which will be the AY. And we're wrapping all of that inside of a 0 minus, but now that I'm, yeah, no, wait, we do have to do it that way. I was gonna make this 2 negative, but that doesn't work with square root. And let me fix this, my sprite, so that now it's sprite. All right. One other thing I'm gonna do real quick, because I'm annoyed by constantly seeing my character fall down from the bottom, is I'm going to go ahead and set their position. So let's go to scene. I think what I'm going to do is just do a place on location, and we're going to place our rad dude somewhere nice on the tile map. So let's do like down here. I'm gonna put it one tile higher, just so that we have some room to fall, because this is bigger than 1 tile. But all right, so that'll be a column 4, a row, I think it was 47. Cool. All right, now that we've got that going, let's go ahead and just test out our jump code. So I'm going to do on A button pressed. Let's go ahead and do a jump. And this will also let us kind of play with some of the values and see if we can see something that looks good. So let's just start with the same value. We'll do 32. All right. So you can see I'm jumping 2 tiles up, which is nice. Because I haven't done anything to check if I'm on the ground or not, I can actually just fly with this.
Rocket boots.
Yeah. No, that's not how rocket boots work.
No.
Rocket boots are a small controlled explosion on your feet. So okay, if we put in a nice big value, then we can do, that's okay. Not exactly rocket-like.
Nice.
There you go. That's a rocket jump if I've ever seen one.
Oh.
All right. So we've got our jump code. This looks okay. What we want to do now is we want to make it so that I think the way this is going to work is you only get, we're going to have 2 kind of values that you can change. One of them is the number of jumps you can do before having to go back to the ground. And then the other one is how high your jump height is. So I'm going to make a little bit of HUD now to just kind of display those 2 things. So the idea is we might want to make it so that you can get a power up so you can do like a double jump. And so you'll have like number of jumps right here. I think the symbol for that is just going to be a shoe. So it'll be like shoes counting down. And then over here, we'll have your jump height, and it'll say like current height and then a number, and let you know how tall you can go. All right, so to do that, because I'm going to be drawing, well, let's do the shoe indicator first, I think. Sounds like fun. Okay.
I like that this is similar to a rocket in that you have like lots of indicators, displays, very
yeah, you're gonna have
forward.
to flip a million switches to get started too. Let's go ahead. There was actually a video game that did that. I'm blanking on the name, but there was like this one mech fighting game where it shipped with a mech cockpit, and like most of the game was just you flipping switches and doing, pushing levers up and just like getting started that way.
Isn't there a game where you have to do that with like your friends and you have to coordinate, like this person who has this style has to do this?
Oh, that's Space Team.
Space Team.
Great show. I mean, great game.
Yeah.
All right. What was I doing? Oh yeah, drawing the little indicator.
Shoes.
draw a jump indicator, and it's going to take in a number which is num jumps. And let's go ahead and I think are going to put inside of a for loop, and I'm going to use an index one. And the reason why is because I'm going to be placing these things. So I'm actually going to need to use this index to determine how far, like, to the left or right, I need to place each of my sprites that I'm about to create. So let's do this. We're going to, you know what?
What?
Actually, I'm going to use a repeat. I think there's an easier way to do this. Just this. So we're going to set our new indicator to a sprite, and this sprite is going to be my shoes. To get that, I'm going to go back into my rad dude sprite and do a copy. That was Command C. Oh, also, I'm going to get my rad dude eyes. Now we'll do a paste. Going to erase that. We really need a trim function, I feel like. 10.5. This needs to be 6. There we go. All right, and I'm going to add a new kind for these. It's going to be a shoe indicator, not show. Indicator.
I feel like we've had very good spelling on the stream all week. Very impressive from everybody.
All right, and I'm going to put 2 variables. Well, actually just one. This is going to be left. And by default, I'm going to set left to be like, I don't know, 2. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change this left on each iteration. And I'm going to change it by the width of this indicator. So if we go into the get property thing, like that, change this to be new indicator, change X to be width. This is going to make it so that all of our shoes get kind of placed, end to end. So let's go ahead and just call this function for a bunch of shoes. Oh, right. So the reason that they're not showing up is because I need to set a flag on them, which is relative to camera. Who wants to explain what relative to camera does?
Sure, yeah. So it basically sticks a sprite to your screen, so you can see it's following the camera around instead of existing in the world.
Exactly. So normally when we move around, all of these things that are not relative to camera, like the tile map, they move around too. But we want this to just kind of stick to the screen and always be present in the top left. So for that, we're going to be using relative to camera, right? So let me go ahead and create a get left, put that right there. And I also want to set the top to be like, I don't know, 2.
It's a good number.
There we go. Cool. I think this works. Maybe I'll do it +1 so that they're a little bit more spaced out. Change left by width +1. There we go. Cool. And there's one other thing I'm going to do, which is before I start this, because I don't want to keep track of these guys, I'm going to, at the top of this, delete all of the existing shoe indicators. So every time we call this function, we'll delete the old ones, create new ones. And for that, I'm going to use a for of loop. Could go down into arrays, get this one, the array of sprites of kind, put it there. And the kind we used was shoe indicator. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to shoe indicator. And called destroy. All right. So if I make it so that we call this draw jump indicator and pass it a lower value than 5 when I press A, we should see now, there you go, goes down, which is what we want. Okay, so by default, I think you're just going to start with, well, let's go ahead and keep track of these max jumps and the current number of jumps we have left. And to do that, I'm going to create a variable. It's going to be called max jumps, which is a good variable name.
Do you want a gold star for that variable name?
I'm the only one who can give out gold stars, and I don't think I give them to myself. That would be like a paradox. My head would probably start spinning.
I would
come out of my
revolt if you got the bicycle. That'd be so unfair.
I think Max Jumps is also a good person name.
I kind of want to change this to be max jumps, but oh well. All right. So we've got max jumps and current jumps. And every time we jump, we're going to decrease our current jumps by 1 and redraw our jump indicator. So let's do that real quick. We're going to change current jumps by -1, and we're going to call draw jump indicator with this current jumps. Cool. All right. Well, it's not entirely obvious because we only have 1 max jump and it's just going away, and we haven't written the code yet to restore our jumps. So let's do that right now. The way I'm going to do that is I think we could do it with an on player hit wall. Might be the easiest way. Here we go. So we want to do on sprite of kind player hits wall. And then we want to do if is rad dude hitting wall bottom, then we are going to restore our jumps. So we're going to call this function, call this bit of code. So the set current jumps to max jumps. And we're going to recall our redraw our jump indicator. So now we should see that when we jump, it goes down to 1. When we go down, it gets restored. And I'm also going to add one more bit of code here because just to make this a little bit more efficient, because right now this is going to be running on every frame that we're on the ground. We only really need to redraw our jump indicator when current jumps does not equal max jumps. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to our if statement. So if is rad dude hitting wall bottom and current jumps does not equal max jumps. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and for this jump indicator, we're going to go ahead and make sure it only draws 1 at the beginning instead of 5.
Cool.
All right. And now let's go ahead and go to our on A button pressed. And we're going to add some code to make sure that we can't just keep jumping infinitely like we could before. So I'm going to put in an if statement, a greater than, and we only want to run this code if current jumps is greater than 0.
Can you tell if you okay?
Yeah, I should probably put this down to a smaller number, huh?
This is the rocket number.
No. My jumps are not powerful enough.
Gotta level up your boots.
Yep. All right. So next, I think we're going to display an indicator, which is going to be rocket power. And it's going to be, I think the unit that makes the most sense to the player is going to be the number of blocks you can jump.
Mhm.
So what we're going to do now is I think we're going to add the text extension.
Wait, Richard, have you established what your favorite extension is?
I feel like I'm biased because I wrote some extensions, and my favorite one is probably one of the ones I wrote. So.
I think that's fair. I think that's a reward for writing your own extensions, is you can have it be your favorite extension.
All right, I think my favorite extension is the character animations extension. I only rediscovered yesterday, or like over the weekend, because I was writing some code and used it.
Which we need to share.
Go ahead and,
Yeah, I've never seen
What?
this before. I want to see.
yeah, I need to go ahead and publish this one and finish it up. But it works really well, and it's useful.
Cool.
All right, draw jump height, and we're going to pass in a number, which is going to be the height.
Why is height H-E-I? Shouldn't it be I before E?
Except after C, and H is a C.
Cool. I'm glad we're good at spelling this week.
Right, so just like before, we're going to destroy all of these. And now what we're going to do is go ahead and create a Textbrite. And the text is going to be I join. So going to put a space at the end of this so that I have some space here. Going to put in the height, and then we're going to put space and then blocks. And let's go ahead and test out our code real quick. So we're going to call jump height, and it's going to be like 5 blocks. Oops, did the exact same thing again. You need to change this so that it's relative to camera. There we go. Jump power. That's too big. Hey, Daryl, before you finish up this extension, are you going to change that max font height thing?
Yes. Good. Let me add that to the to-do list.
I feel like if you didn't say blocks, they might still get it.
I don't know if I trust my players like that.
That might be like this. You have 5 jumps then. Maybe it should just be power.
Ooh, yeah.
All right. We'll do that, and let's go ahead and set our position real quick. So we're going to set it to the top. We'll probably do the same bit of spacing. So the top will be 2. And for the, I'm also going to set the left. Normally when we want things that are right aligned to the screen, we set the right, but I don't want this power thing to be moving around once you start getting into double or triple digits.
Oh.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the screen width minus some nice padding. So let's do screen width minus, and I think the width of these is like 6. So if I want to have like 3 characters, then I'm going to do 20. Should be a nice value.
Times 8.
And I need to add the width of the sprite to this. Or I need to subtract the width of the sprite. Where did I got width up here somewhere. Here we go. Oh, the lengths I will go to not go back to the toolbox. There we go. So we got our power displayed now, and yeah, okay. So let's figure out how we're going to be able to get more power. And I think for that, we're just going to do some power-ups for now. And we might kind of decide how we want these power-ups to be. Wait, first let me collapse all these and format my code. We might want to decide how these power-ups get unlocked or where they get placed later. But for now, I think I'm just going to go ahead and place them on top of random platforms. And I think this is going to happen. I don't know. I guess maybe I should set them in my tile map. Does that make sense? So that I manually place them?
Yeah, so you make sure they can get to the next one.
Yeah, okay.
Can you hear the yard work going on?
A little bit.
Okay. It's an arrow?
Yeah, this is going to be your ups.
I like it.
All right, so this is going to be a jump power up. We'll go ahead and set a few. There we go. And now let's go ahead and add the code for when we overlap these things. We're going to get rid of them and we are going to increase our jump power. So let's go ahead and do an on overlaps. We can leave this first argument as player. For the second one, I'm going to select our up tile. And we are now going to do two things. So first, we want to get rid of the tile that's there because you've picked it up. So I'm going to drag out this location, and I'm going to set it to be our background tile, which is just black. And let's test this out real quick. Cool. So I'm grabbing all of those. That's nice. The other thing we want to do is we want to increase our jump power. So let's go ahead and I think I need to actually make a variable to store our jump power. So by default, we're going to set our jump power to be, I think, 5. And I'm going to go ahead and change this to call draw jump height. To call jump, use the variable I just defined. And I'm also going to do this here. And what's a good amount to change the jump power by? Maybe just 1 by now, for now?
Yeah, because that's a whole block, right? That makes sense.
All right,
Oh.
That seems to be working. But now we need to actually use our jump power in our jumps. So we're inside of this do jump. We're actually going to, instead of passing 64, we want to pass the number of pixels. So that's going to be equal to our jump power. Well, first, how do we convert this jump power into tiles? I mean, into pixels. Anyone? Right now, the unit is tiles.
Got to multiply by 16. Right.
Yeah, because each tile is 16 by 16. So doing that, you can see how high I jump right now. Up my power. Now I jump higher. Cool. All right, looks good. Now let's do the next thing, which is right now I kind of hate how this top bar is overlapping with things. It makes it hard to read, makes it hard to see things. So I'm going to go ahead and add a background for this top bar. And the way I'm going to do that is simply by going into our onStart. I'm going to create a sprite that is the width of the screen. So that's the height. So the width. And the height is going to be like, I don't know, 10. And I'm just going to fill it in with pink. Cool. Just like before, now I'm going to set the relative to camera. Oh, whoops. Right here. And I am going to set the top to 0 and our Z to -1, so that it's behind everything. Cool. So that's working okay. Maybe I should make it a little taller. Took me a second to see where it was. And I'm also going to make it a better color for contrast, so I'll do dark purple. All right. So, what do you think this game needs? I have something in mind, but
I have like a extra thing in mind that I think would be cool.
Yeah, what is it?
I think there should be fire coming out of the boots.
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
This game is missing some radness right now.
Yes.
And I think one of the ways that we do radness is by going into sprites, going down to effects, and we're going to be starting an effect on our rad dude when we jump. So let's do that. And I think what we want to do is, isn't there a fire effect?
Yeah.
There it is.
Yes, but it goes up.
No.
It might be fine if you're jumping.
Yeah, it's fine. Cool. Now I've just got a forever flaming trail, and every time I press A, it gets a little bit more vibrant. All right. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to press this plus to give us a time limit, and this time limit is going to be based on our jump power. Yeah, I don't know. Why not just put in the straight pixel value? That might look okay. Nah, needs to be a bit longer, I think. You want to do times 25? Yeah, I think that's okay. I want to make it a little bit more filled in, though.
Mhm.
Cool. Yeah, I think that looks better. Okay, we've got our jump power. Now let's make it so that we have another kind of power up, which is more jumps. So to do that, we're going to make the same thing as before. We're going to have this overlaps thing, but we're going to make another tile, and this one's going to be our shoes. So I think what I need to do is copy that sprite from wherever it is. I think it's inside of the draw jump indicator. Command A, Command C. And these ones are going to be rarer than the other ones, I think. So I'll just put down one for now. And I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this code. And we're going to, right now this is disabled because we have the same argument as our other event, and you can only have one argument, only one event with the same parameters. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to be our shoe. I'll pop back into color. I'm going to keep that just like that. We want to change our max jumps by 1. And we also want to change our current jumps by 1. So this has a nice side effect of you can also use it to refresh your jumps if you get one in the air. And we want to call this draw jump indicator. And let's test that out real quick. All right, now I've got 2, so I can do 1 jump, 2 jump. Red jump, blue jump. All right. Okay, we've got the basic mechanics of our game now, which is, jumping. One thing we don't have right now, though, is danger. And can it truly be radical without danger? And I think the kind of way that you're going to lose this game is if you don't jump fast enough. So you're going to have this constant, like, trying to go upwards. You're going to jump from platform to platform, but there needs to be some sort of danger that's chasing you. And I think the easiest way to do that is to just kind of fill this in tile by tile. So you've probably seen mechanics like this. If you've played a platformer before, very often they will have the lava chases you upwards level. And I've always liked those, even though they're very hard, often, and frustrating. But because we have so much jump power, I think it's going to be fun in this game.
Maybe it's chasing us because we took some of the lava for our shoes, and that's why it's emitting fire, and then wants its lava back.
Very possible. If you guys, I think we all remember when in the 1960s, NASA created the first rocket ship by stealing some lava from a volcano and putting it inside a tube.
It's trying to take its revenge.
I like that narrative, that it is sentient lava. Like those blob things in Yoshi's Island. All right, let's go.
I've played. I don't know about this.
You should play Yoshi's Island. It's a great game.
I've only played the Mario Kart version level.
So we're going to create a new variable, which is going to be current lava row. And first what we're going to do is set this current lava row to be the height of our tile map, which I'm just going to hard code for now. So it's going to be 50. Now on game update, every 500 milliseconds, what's going to happen is we are going to, in our tile map, use a 4 index loop. Our tile map is 10 wide, so I'm going to change this from 0 to 9 because 0 is included. So this will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is 10 times. And what we're going to do is for each of our tiles in that row, we're going to set it to be lava. And before I do that, I need to go ahead and draw a lava tile, which is going to be, very creatively, red.
Okay.
Okay, so for the row, we want to use this current lava row. For the column, we want to use this index because we're going all the way across. And now we should see this going. Oh, wait, I'm not changing the current row. And we need to change the current lava row by -1.
Scary.
Yeah, that's a bit too fast, I think.
Lava is very viscous, would not move that fast.
That's true. It goes like lava, molasses, and then maple syrup's in the middle there somewhere. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Toothpaste is most viscous.
All right. So cool. We've got our lava kind of creeping up. I think we need to start the player a little bit higher up so that you can see what is happening. So you have some idea that you are being chased by lava. Oh, I'm not going to do that, actually. I'm going to just move everything up a bit. Like that. And we also need to change our place code because right now we're placing on the bottom, and so we want to go up a bit more, which will be like, move everything up 3, so 44 should work. Cool. Now let's do the actual losing part of our code. So we're going to do an on overlaps for that. And if this happens, we're going to do a game over lose. Let's test that out real quick. So that works okay, but there is this kind of thing where if we are on top of the lava, we should probably end the game now. Because in real life, the surface bit of the lava is also dangerous. So let's do that. I'm going to go back to my on-hit wall code. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to check if the if the tile below us is.
I think you could just turn off all walls when you set the.
Yes. Shannon is great at swooping in when I'm writing code and giving me a much easier way to do things. And I really appreciate it. Set wall up. If that sounded sarcastic, I did not intend it that way at all. I really do appreciate it a lot.
Shannon's done this for me too, and it's been great.
I feel like you guys do the same thing when I'm coding, so it's.
Shannon's our IntelliSense.
Yeah. All right, perfect. Okay. So now we have the basics of our game. We can go ahead and, do these jumps. Eventually, it'll probably make it so that we have farther spaced out things. So if you haven't been grabbing power-ups, you won't be able to make it to the top.
Oh.
And let's go ahead and do a little bit of, I guess, level design. I don't really have much ideas on how to design levels for this and make it fun. So I think what I'm going to do is just increasingly space these things out.
I think you should put one of the max jumps somewhere midair.
I like that. Yeah. All right, let's see if this is winnable.
Nice.
All right, I think this is a nice little intro level. It's shows you what all the different things do. It's pretty leisurely, not that difficult to make your way through. That's the only tricky bit. All right. So let's go ahead and do something to complete our level. Let's go ahead and put a goal. What's a radical thing for a radical guy? What are we trying to get?
No.
What'd you say?
I said hula hoops, but I think there are more radical things in the world than hula hoops.
Hula hoops are pretty radical.
Kind of, if you were to draw a graph of radical to not radical, I think they would be closer to the not radical side of things.
What?
Hula hoops?
Balloons are radical.
Let's see.
Turtles.
Stereo is radical.
Stereo.
A
different
skateboards
color.
are pretty radical.
Ooh, skateboards are radical.
Very radical. And then you can skate away.
All right, I think we're doing skateboard.
Are rollerblades coming back? I need more like user feedback. I feel like rollerblades are coming back, but
Roller derby is radical.
I feel like roller skates.
Daryl doesn't think they're radical.
Roller skates are definitely not radical. Rollerblades
No,
are
I
a bit
do.
better.
Wait, what's the difference?
Rollerblades have everything in one line, Roller skates are the ones that have 4 wheels.
But those are the ones you use in roller derby, right?
I don't know.
100%,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Does this look like a skateboard at all?
Kind of looks like yes. I mean, it does.
I don't know how to make these things look more circular.
You're kind of working with the limited range.
Maybe I give another layer.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that looks okay. And we do yeah, whatever.
Radical.
All right, let's do our code for the end of the level. I think what's going to happen is we're going to, oh, that was the wrong block to duplicate. I'm going to duplicate this one. We're going to change this second argument to be our skateboard. We're going to, I think, set a variable, which is going to be level is done. And the reason why I'm setting that will be clear, I think, in a second. Because what I want to do is I want to make the lava stop when the level is done so that we have time to do a little animation. Level is done. There it goes. I want this to be not level is done. Mute. All right. So we're going to set level is done to be true. And I think we're going to make our rad dude say something radical. Yeah, we're going to have a variety. So I guess maybe I'll just make a variable called radical sayings.
Could you publish a book? I would like to practice my radical sayings.
You don't read radical sayings
Oh,
out of a book. You read them on graffiti that is spray painted on the sides of walls in a skate park.
You read them from your heart.
Is lima beans a radical thing?
I think one of them should be lima beans.
I can't, in good conscience, put that into my list of radical sayings.
No. Isn't like the shape of the inner skate tube a bean? Or it's a kidney bean? Because of LA pools. I listened opposite. No.
Okay, I'll put it in there, but I'm not happy about it. Contempt.
Maybe it's like I'm the anti-weather person, but I could be anti-radical. You can just go opposite. I think of very unradical things. Why is tubular a radical thing to say?
It's like a surfing thing, I believe.
Oh. Nice 10. Catch it.
But the idea is, you know those waves that are like tubes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's tubular. All right.
Mm.
Length of radical sayings -1. And let's test this out real quick.
Nope.
So radical.
All right. So I think we want to do something like if not level is done. Or actually, we don't need to do that. We can just do this set level is done to true, and we can put a pause in here. And we'll pause for, I don't know, a second. And wait, I can't put a pause here. Right?
Yeah, I don't think it'll work. Could do the lifespan thing.
Yeah, I guess let's do the lifespan thing. So the lifespan thing is we're going to set the lifespan of our red dude to be some number and make it a second. So that's 1,000. Lifespan is measured in the milliseconds. So 1,000 is 1 second. And then we're going to do on destroyed sprite of kind player, because at the end of this lifespan, our rad dude is going to get destroyed. What we will do is we will call game over when.
Do we still have to wrap that in an if? Or no?
Nope.
Oh.
This is the only place we destroy our rad dude, so we're good.
Oh.
Noise. Oh, I guess that's why we need to wrap it in an if, huh? All right, let's do that real quick. So there we go. And our game is complete. If we had more time, I would make some more levels, but I think this is it for now. So let's go ahead and do outros. I'm Richard, at Richard on the MakeCode forum.
I'm Daryl, at Darzu on the MakeCode forum.
I'm Shannon, at Shakao on the MakeCode forum.
And I'm Vivian, at LibCheerful on the MakeCode forums.
Thanks for watching.